These are devotions for people at a social distance. Well, today in Ottawa apparently is to be a day of relative silence. There is a new judicial order, an injunction preventing people from honking horns or sounding air sirens, which under normal circumstances, of course, would be a really odd thing. But if you've been following the news from Ottawa, you can understand exactly why a judge might have made this order. It's not without some controversy, of course. Some might argue this is a matter of silencing free speech. I don't particularly buy that argument. We're not talking about substantial speech here, but the the reality, of course, is this is really, really good news for the people of Ottawa and of that they will hopefully, if people abide by these restrictions, and of course it is properly enforced as needed, that they will finally get some respite, some silence, some sleep, a little bit of sanity back in their life. But it's making me think today about silence and the need for silence. And the reality is, of course, we are living in a world where we're constantly surrounded by noise. We're constantly interrupted by our phones with new pieces of information. And it might be good information, but when it's constantly coming at you, there is no silence. We are in a world of noise and information is all around us. And there is so much that we never have a chance for silence. People, in their homes, never turn off a television or radio or whatever sort of speaker is going because we don't embrace silence. And that's a real problem. If we do not find silence, we do not find a way to listen to something very important. It made me think of this story, famous story from 1 Kings chapter 19, starting at verse 11. Elijah has been on the run. He comes to Mount Horeb, the mountain of God, the mountain of the Ten Commandments, in some traditions anyways. And he comes there and he comes into the presence of the Lord. And it says this, he said, "Go out and stand on the mountain before the Lord, for the Lord is about to pass by." Now there was a great wind, so strong that it was splitting mountains and breaking rocks in pieces before the Lord, but the Lord was not in the wind. And after the wind, an earthquake, but the Lord was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake, a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire, a sound of sheer silence. When Elijah heard it, he wrapped his face in his mantle and went out and stood at the entrance of the cave. Then there came a voice to him that said, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" And the point of this story is, and it's probably somewhat metaphorical, but the point is very clearly that in the tumult, the noise of life, in the fire, the wind, the earthquake, it is so hard for us to find God, to listen for what is right, what is good. We need a little bit of silence. And I think in the noise of what was happening in Ottawa, there was no way of finding resolution. I think we can pray today that with some quiet might come an opportunity for everyone to reflect, to find a way forward, to find truth, to find hope, to find some peace. And boy, we need that. So let's pray for that. Lord our God, I pray for the people of Ottawa today that they might be able to enjoy a bit of silence, that they might find that people on every side, and the sides are definitely against everyone, that they might hear for a voice from you, a word, some sanity, which is certainly needed for some, and a way forward. Amen. Silence.